Okay, we're live on YouTube and we are live on Instagram. Just add the flippy filter like so. Yeah, awesome. And hopefully audio sounds good over here. Nice. So welcome. Today is a bit of a later stream because I had some things to do in the morning, but we're still here. We're still brewing coffee and we're still hopefully making a delicious cup of coffee with these beans over here, the Manos Juntas, which is a Colombian bean, which is naturally processed. And we'll be using the James Hoffmann technique to hopefully get the most out of these beans. So last time I brewed with it in my first cup, the process that I did wasn't fully exact like the James Hoffmann method that he did in his video. So I took some notes, I went through the video, and I made sure that all of it was 1-to-1 or as close as possible to his technique, because over the years, I've kind of just winged it a lot of the parts where I felt like it wasn't necessary. I just kind of removed some of the swirls and some of the twirls here and there. But this time around, we're going to try to follow it as closely as possible to really showcase a good representation of the James Hoffmann pour-over technique. So our recipe today will be the same as yesterday, but we're going to use a different filter. So we'll be using this thicker fabric filter instead to have a slower brewing time. And our recipe will be a 1-to-17 brewing ratio with 15 grams of water at a grind size of 27, water dose of 255, and a water temperature of boiling or 100 degrees Celsius. So let's begin with that. And yeah, if you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to comment. I try to read comments and just answer questions as I go, which I love and have a good time with. So move you down and move you down. Oh, interesting. The phone is blocking the view for the webcam. Here. I can kind of like put you on the side over here. Yeah. Like so. And like so. Cool. Let's begin. So open this up, measure out 15 grams of coffee. And yet again, whenever I look at these, I am so amazed by the light roast of it and how uniform the roast level is. It's kind of just like blowing my mind every single time I pour out these beans. Okay, and then we'll grind it. Like so. We got 15.3 grams. Let's remove just a bit to get it to 15 on the dot. We'll take this. I'll place it over here, like so. And we'll get our boiling water and a cup to brew in. Like so. So first, preheat. We take the Hario V60. We take our fabric filter, plop it in like so, and preheat it. And then we pour out the liquid. Like so. Tare, bring it to the timer, toss in the grinds. Like so. So the process is a bit different from what I did yesterday. So we still make a small hole in the center, but James Hoffmann doesn't actually stir his bloom. He does like this vigorous swirl with his Hario V60. So we'll be doing that. And he also does the Scott Rao swirl as the liquid is kind of like halfway down. So I'll show you how that looks as I brew. So to begin with, we're going to pour around 2 to 3 times the coffee amount. So I'll be pouring around 40 grams of water in here. So we start the timer, pour 40 grams in, like so. And then we take the brewer, and what he likes to do is like swirl it like so, so that everything gets fully saturated instead of stirring it. And then we wait a bit. And then we pour continuously all the way up to 255 grams of water. To 55 grams. At this point, he does a stir clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, like so, to get the grinds down from the filter. And then as the liquid is around halfway through, he does the swirl again, the Scott Rao swirl. So you take the brewer and then you just give it a slight swirl. So the liquid inside of it kind of just moves around and swirls around. And now we just let it drain. So comparing this to yesterday's brew, I can already tell that the time is way longer, meaning the time it takes from the liquid to go through the filter and coffee is taking longer because the filter is thicker, which means a longer brew time, which also means more extraction. So right now we're closing in on 2 minutes. And this looks like much more of a reasonable time frame compared to yesterday's cup, which was close to 1 minute and 30. So right now it's at 2:30 and the liquid is about to be fully extracted. 2:35. So by using a different filter, we added an extra minute to our brew time, which does a lot to the extraction. And I'll just show you the coffee bed. It looks like so. Nice and flat. Overall, pretty smooth. And the main things are no coffee grinds up top, and also that the bed is nice and flat for an even extraction. And then we take our stir stick and stir our coffee. And that's it. Let's taste this. So yesterday, I didn't really talk too much about extraction of what we tasted because it was kind of a lackluster cup that kind of died really quickly in my mouth. But it was under extracted overall, and the taste was pretty bad. So I kind of wrote it up over here on the side on the fridge, which I'll show you in a moment. Okay, so moving you back up again, like so, and bringing you right over there. Cool. There we go. Our cup of coffee. I don't usually drink coffee this late in the afternoon, but today is a exception. So yet again, talking about yesterday's cup, the extraction was quite under extracted. So on the side over here, and then the taste wasn't that great either. It was pretty far down. So hopefully today's cup will be even better and we'll get a delicious cup from this. So let's give it a taste. So one thing that totally stands out compared to yesterday's cup is that the flavors and mouthfeel is actually staying around. So yesterday it was so under extracted with the fast brew time that the liquid just didn't have any substance at all. It reminded me of a bit of water with just a dash of like flavoring in there. So today's cup is much better, meaning it has flavors and a body that is lingering around, and it has more of the qualities of a cup of coffee. So it has this silkiness to it too, meaning whenever I take my tongue and I rub it against the like inner sides of my lip, it becomes a bit smoother compared to what it used to be. Taste wise, I feel like it's not like showcasing a lot of interesting flavors. However, it has this, I still say it's like a vegetal bitterness, but it has like this slight something that remind me of a green veggie of sorts. And I think that like it's just reminding me of that, like a slight vegetal bitterness. But overall, I think the silkiness of the body is what I really enjoy with this cup of coffee. This cup over here is probably still just a bit under extracted. Like, even though there aren't any crazy sour notes, I have a feeling that it is a bit under extracted because of the amount of extraction that we've done here. Let's see what you're saying over here. So a month of roast, so I am not sure if I could be decasting. So Hassan over here is probably talking about some beans that he has that are degassing or not degassing. You're referring to like the comment that you posted some time ago, right? Yeah. But overall, like comparing this cup to yesterday's cup, it's night and day. Yesterday's cup was barely even touching the coffee classification. This over here is much more of a cup of coffee. And I think that we can still for sure improve it. I want to extract a bit more from this cup because I feel like we're not getting those flavors that we can get out of this cup. And if it's not showcasing any of those over extracted qualities, just keep on grinding finer and finer until you hit that level of over extraction and then dial it down just a bit. So yeah, me and Hassan were talking in the YouTube comments, and it was for sure referring to the vegetal taste you found. Sometimes resting the beans for a longer can help with it. Yeah, in the beginning of a coffee beans lifespan, right after the roasting, there's a lot of like wheat and hay and grass and vegetal flavors that are imbued at that moment. However, these beans are quite old at this point. So they have been roasted on September 25th. So it's been close to a month that these have sat around. So I'm pretty sure it's not from the degassing itself, but more from the coffee bean. Okay, so I'm gonna add a dash of water and see how it interacts with this cup. I'm kind of curious. So I had a mini talk with one of my viewers, Gary, not too long ago, and we were talking about this topic where sometimes you're making these micro tweaks to your brewing recipe, and you might think that you're getting a under extracted cup, over extracted cup, and really tweaking it and getting it closer to a point. However, what a realization that was had was that he was kind of like playing around in the under extracted realm, but only tweaking the variables ever so slightly, and still like retained its position in the under extracted realm, because the spectrum is pretty large. And if this is balanced and this is under extracted, if you just tweak your variables just a bit, then you're still in the under extracted zone, but you have like this false expectation that, oh yeah, I ground finer, it should be over extracted now. But it's really interesting how if you don't have the taste for coffee and like knowledge of really what under extracted and over extracted coffee tastes like, you might be doing these tweaks and you might be getting a small change, but you might not be getting it within the basic range of what under extracted, balanced, and over extracted should taste like. So you might be making a tweak and expect in your mind that it's supposed to be over extracted now, and then kind of like imbue those tasting notes into the cup. But yeah, just go into the extremes when you're playing around with coffee. So if you're not sure if your coffee is over extracted, grind way finer. Like, don't just do 1 or 2 notches, do like 10 notches, see what happens. If you think your coffee is sour and you're not sure, then guess what? Decrease the water temperature by 10 degrees and really taste that sourness in coffee. Because if you're just latching onto some small nuances here and there, you might be mixing up flavors back and forth and really have a hard time to distinguish things. So really taste the extremes. Taste the things that are extremely under extracted, taste the things that are extremely over extracted, and really get a good feel of what that tastes like. Yeah, so this cup became even better after a dash of water, and I'm really enjoying it. Just with that extra dash, it like went up 1 notch or so. So from that dash of water, I can really pinpoint and say that this cup over here is slightly under extracted. So looking at our chart over here, extraction wise, so if this is balanced, this is over, this is under, we're in the under extracted realm right over there. Taste wise, really delicious, meh, okay. I would say this is a bit above okay. It was pretty pleasant. It had a nice mouthfeel. It had a good silkiness, but it was still kind of lacking a bit. I feel like there is more potential in these beans that can be had, and we're gonna go at it again tomorrow and make a change. So to compensate for the extraction, I think what I want to try is to either make the grind size finer or increase the brewing ratio. And for this time around, let's make the grind size a bit finer. Let's take it from 27. And then tomorrow we'll be brewing with 25, like so. And we'll see how that is. So yeah, thanks for joining me today in this slightly delayed live stream. We'll be back at normal timeframes tomorrow and for all of the other weekday streams. I hope that you have a great afternoon. Make sure to eat some breakfast, lunch, or dinner wherever you're at and enjoy your coffee. So take care. I'll see you peeps later. And I'll see you guys later too. Have a good one.